Villages, and we really had a lot of fun. I'm Kathleen Kane from AM 640 WVLG, and this is our Spotlight Entertainer portion. I had the joy and honor of catching up with Suzie Casta. Well, it's just about before her Katie Bell show here on a Friday, and she'll be performing from 3:30 to 5:30. So how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, and you look beautiful.
Thank you. So do you.
As always. I have on my radio shirt, and you're ready to sing your heart out. One of the things I wanted to ask you, just get started right off the bat, because in fact we were just talking about that a minute ago, about your Brooklyn roots. And when I first met you, you told me the story of how you started singing with your father when you were very young. How old were you?
Oh, well, my father has had a very successful band since before I was born. And when I was a little girl, for fun, he would let me come on stage and sing, and it was cute. And then as I guess in my teen years, he actually realized that I can sing, and that's when he brought me on with some jobs. So I would say I was a teenager when I first started singing with the band. And actually got paid.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
That means you were a professional as a teenager.
Technically, yes.
Yeah. Is it something that you dreamt about really wanting to do?
Oh, since I was a little girl, I always sang. My sister and I would put on shows, dance on the coffee table. I would sing in the swing set in my backyard as a little girl. Always wanted to. Sang in my hairbrush in the mirror. So, yes, it was always something I dreamt of doing as a child.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you should say that, because I just had a vision of my sister and I coming, entering on the landing of the staircase and coming down and putting costumes together and little programs. But I didn't know I would actually become an entertainer. I wasn't really I thought I was going to be a lawyer.
Oh.
Believe it or not. But this is something that you have been doing pretty much all your life then.
Well, I did it on the side because I became a mom at a very young age.
Oh.
So my first priority was being a mom and working steady work, whether it was in the restaurant business. And so I worked all kinds of jobs, restaurants, bartending, waitressing, cleaning houses, secretarial work. But luckily, my father, a couple of times a month, would say, Suzie, you would sing with me tonight, or, then there were stretches that I didn't sing at all. And being here in the Villages is the first time that I'm actually able to do it full time.
Wow.
And just focus on this now that my son is 24 years old and on his own.
Goodness.
So it's kind of my turn now, which is really nice.
Very, very nice. What was the kind of music that you sung as a young girl?
Well, the band was a wedding band, so my father taught me music from Al Jolson to doo-wop to Willie Nelson to today's music.
So you were able to bring all this to the Villages.
Correct.
Quite a history of music, in fact.
Yes.
So you probably know a lot about the artists and have some fun stories about that, too, that your father may have told you.
Yes, he used to always, I think doo-wop was his favorite, and that's what we would listen to most. And he'd say, listen to the words and listen to the story. And that's also when he had to learn a new song, he'd buy the 45 record and ask me to write the words for him. So I literally would have to write words, lift the needle, put the record back down.
That's the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way. And that's, I think, how I trained myself to memorize words to all these songs.
Yeah, that's great, because now you can just kind of Google.
Now I Google.
Copy it, put it in a book, and you're ready to go. So when did you come to Florida, and why did you make the move?
Well, like I said, single mom, working real hard back in New York. I had friends living in South Florida, actually. And when my son decided to move out to California, he was about 18. And I went down to South Florida to live with a friend of mine that I knew forever. I'd go on vacation and always liked the area. And I met my husband, who had relatives here in the Villages. I'd never heard of the Villages. So if it wasn't for my husband, I wouldn't be here, because I never even heard of this place. And we were dating, and he kept taking me up here to visit family, and I really, really liked it. And then he asked me to marry him, and we actually got married at Church on the Square.
Oh, wow.
2 years ago. Next week is our anniversary.
Oh, my gosh, that's neat. That is great.
Yeah, so he has been the one behind the scenes, pushing me, supporting me, lugging my speakers around.
I saw him,
and like I always say, he's my rock.
That's wonderful. So when you first came to the Villages, what was your impression?
I honestly thought all the storefronts were fake. I thought it was like a movie set. It didn't look real to me because everything was just so perfect.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, I could compare it to when, in The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy stepped out of the house and everything was color for the first time and everything looked so beautiful. That's what it reminds me of.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Isn't that neat? And then, of course, the people.
Well, the Munchkins.
Yeah, or just the perfect people.
They are. They really are. And, you know, I grew up with a really close family, and it was very hard to leave them. They even said, what do you mean you're going to Florida? They couldn't understand it. And I think the people that I have met and the friendships that I've acquired almost fill that void of that family feeling because they do embrace you and support you. They show up, and they're always there for you. And a lot of them say, oh, I have a daughter your age, or I could be your aunt, or I could be this. And that's what happened to me. I adopted a big Villages family.
Yes,
so.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way. I've actually made some long-lasting friendships here.
Yeah, I'm very lucky, the people I've come in contact with here.
Well, speaking of family, you have your mother with you today, Carol.
Yes, she's in visiting from New York. She's been with me all week, and we're having a lot of fun.
And what does she say about the Villages?
Oh, she loves it, too. She's been here a few times, obviously, for my wedding, and then last year for my birthday, and so she enjoys it, because she still works in Manhattan, back in New York, so this is a nice break for her to kind of relax and
very different.
See her daughter entertain, and it's fun. We're having a lot of fun.
Now, speaking of all your entertaining, you do so much. You're at Katie Bell's. You just started on the square. You're at the different restaurants. And now last night, because today is Friday, you were with Norman Lee.
No, actually, next Thursday I'm with Norman.
Oh.
Yes. We do a show once a month.
Okay.
Norman and I, and we have a lot of fun. It can get very silly.
So that's October 24th then?
Yes.
Great, okay.
It gets a little silly. Norman is a fun person to work with.
He's very silly.
He is, and I'm kind of a big goofball myself, so that works out. We have costume changes, and it's just, we get everybody involved, dancing, laughing, and enjoying life. That's all it's about.
Exactly, especially here in the Villages.
Yes.
Now, do you think you'll take up golf or pickleball or do anything like that?
If I have any free time, maybe. I've been doing a lot of work, but it's all good work.
Yeah. Okay, well, what is your favorite music? I wanted to ask you that because,
that's so hard.
Yeah, we do such variety.
I love the Motown sound. I think it's very uplifting and happy. And dancing-wise, I got to go back to my disco days. Love that classic disco sound for dancing. I mean, but, then you hear a voice like Patsy Cline, and there is no voice like that.
It really is hard to decide.
It's hard to pick one type. That's why I sing so many different types of music, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's been great talking with you, and you're going to be heading across the street to Katie Bell's today from 3:30 to 5:30, and that's I think that's a great time of day.
I think so, too.
What can people expect from you today?
Oh, you never know with me. It depends on the crowd, I guess, but a little bit of everything from the 60s and 70s all the way to today, and I always like to touch on every genre of music so everybody gets to hear what they like.
Well, wonderful. I was looking forward to talking with you, and I know the people here in the Villages have definitely embraced you. So I look forward to hearing more about, what's going on here with you.
Thank you so much. I was really looking forward to this today, too. Thank you.
Okay, and this is Suzie Casta, and look for her at Katie Bell's and in the squares and, of course, all around the Villages. I'm Kathleen Kane for Spotlight, AM 640, WVLG.